Hey everyone, welcome back to Ask Warble. I've been looking forward to this day for a while because it means we get to degenerate back to being children. Not like we don't act like kids anyway, Matt.
Adults all the time.
Exactly.
Adults all the time.
But yeah, Matt, thanks for joining us again.
Not a problem.
Today is themed, as you might be able to notice. We're going to be talking about kids' entertainment, children's entertainment, whether that's for parties or other events, and all the things involved in booking entertainment for children. So the first thing I wanted to look at is children's parties and the kind of things you want to consider when booking entertainment, whether it's for a birthday party or something like that.
I mean, at the end of the day, any party for kids, you've got to think about things, and I think one of the key things that you've got to look at is the age of the kids.
Sure.
Because not that you wouldn't book a DJ for a young person's very young, like 5, 6, 7-year-old party, but you need to be aware of the age, or make the agent aware, or people you book aware.
I would say like the difference between, a 20-year-old and a 30-year-old isn't that massive, maybe, but the difference between a 7-year-old and a 13-year-old is huge.
A 7-year-old, they're still like proper kids. Yeah, a 13-year-old, like they're getting cool now. They're at the age where they are bothered about what people think.
Sure,
and stuff like that, So it's you've really got to be aware of the age you're looking at. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. One of the popular choices for kids' parties and events is magicians, and there's a massive contrast to magicians. I would say there's like two massively different types. There's the kind of current cool type that we have right now that's influenced by, I don't know, Dynamo and Darren Brown and Street Magic.
Dynamo is always a reference that I use, for those, and it's Street Magic, I think, is the key thing. It's, the cool guys. And I think they will work for a 13, 14-year-old.
Yeah, I guess because they are watching that stuff on TV. They might be fans of someone
They'll be
like
watching
Dynamo.
on YouTube. That's what kids of that age are looking at. And they'll see that, and also it's that whole hip, cool thing. Mm-hmm. It's obviously important to check with a magician, because some magicians will say, I only want to do a certain age, So obviously, if you're inquiring into a magician, let them know. But then on the flip side, the 7-year-old, you need to, again, make sure the magician is appropriate for 7-year-olds.
I think a children's magician is a specialist type of act and a specialist type of magician.
Definitely.
I spoke to Gianluca, the magician. I spoke to him a while ago, and he was talking to me about it, and he said that he loves doing the magic for kids, but without a doubt, they are the hardest group, or any age group, to impress, because they are so inquisitive. And they will be the ones, like when you're in the middle of doing a trick and you say, pick a card, they'll grab 5 or something.
Yes, of course.
Just because they want to.
And I think as well, if you're doing a trick and a magician makes a slight mistake, an adult will be an adult about it and maybe not say anything or say something quietly to their friend, where a kid will point and go, you did it wrong.
We've built up that social resilience, knowing that that's not okay to do. But I know for myself, when I was a kid, I would definitely have done that. Just got you. How dare you try and fool me? So in terms of that then, with a children's magician and regular magicians or street magicians, what is the kind of difference between them both?
For a start, I would say you probably want to differentiate between a stage show and a what we call mix and mingle or close-up magic.
Sure.
That would be the key, personally, what I feel is the key to things, because I think a stage show can work really well for kids, but you really need to make sure that it's a kid's stage show magician.
Right.
They will have a show, and that's where they get all the attention of all the kids, and they're all watching them.
So that's a proper kind of choreographed setup show where people might kind of actually sit down and watch it for 20-30 minutes and...
or as long as you can get the kids to sit still. But certainly that's, everyone watches it, they do a big show, and it'll be quite, I guess, theatrical almost, loud and funny for the kids, and they'll be laughing and pointing and screaming, and there'll be interaction and stuff like that. Whereas the street magicians that do the mix and mingle, the close-up magic, I think that can be lost on younger kids.
Sure.
Because it relies on people, it's almost like an interruption. They'll come over and do a short trick and then move on.
It requires kind of fleeting attention, whereas the stage show is kind of specifically set up to keep your attention for 20-30 minutes or
and kids go along with it, and they get involved, and they get volunteers up and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun.
I always wanted to get picked for the thing. I was that kid.
Were you that guy like that?
I was trying to reach the stars when I'm putting my hand up, but it never happened.
That's why you never got picked, Joey.
Because I tried too hard.
If
I just put it up a little bit, it's like, I I don't really.
I think a pro magician would see that and go, I don't want him on my stage. He's too easy.
Well, if any kids watch this, you know what to do. Just have a little sly hand up.
Be subtle.
Cool. Okay, so no party is complete without music.
Of course.
So for music for kids' parties or kids' events, what kind of things are we looking at? I mean, is a band a way to go? Do we book bands, or do you see bands going out for kids' parties? Or?
I think it's rare. It is rare, and I think as much as there are young kids out there that enjoy live music, I feel it may be a waste of an expense.
Sure.
At the end of the day, paying for a full band there, the kids' parents will love it. It'd be great. But I think it would see. I think your money's better spent elsewhere for kids.
Okay.
Certainly under 10, I think they're not all going to be into it. As you get a bit older, it depends on the kids and that sort of thing. But I think a DJ is the safe answer.
The classic.
Yeah, a DJ generally will ask you what age the kid's going to be there, and then they'll instantly know. Right, I'll revert to my under 10s playlist, and do that. They'll have a chat with you about the kind of music, and it'll work like that. Then later on, if the kids all fall asleep, they can instantly change and play some other stuff for the adults.
Sure.
But
I guess that's the thing. DJs are always a very versatile option to go for, and you're in safe hands when you go for something like that. So you say with DJs that they would. Enough DJs are versatile enough to be able to adapt if you let them know that it's going to be a kids' party, and they'll have expertise to be able to deal with that.
I think any professional DJ worth his salt has done every sort of kind of party, and they generally would know what to play, or they'd have a conversation and what's current and that kind of thing, and they'd make it work for the night.
I guess again it goes with the age group thing that you said. I think a lot of the younger generation now are way more privy to current music than maybe I was back in the day, 'cause it's way much more accessible. So they're going to make sure they've got all the latest hits and the current chart hits for everyone. And
I think that's it. It's a latest playlist. It's the Radio 1 playlist, whereas you or I, if we wanted a DJ, would probably want a lot of 90s and noughties and that kind of thing, and you're not looking for current stuff, but kids want what's now,
cool.
what they're into.
Another thing that we can start looking at, maybe if you have a kind of school event or even still at a party, it's kind of more of a workshop type vibe. I know we have circus workshops, which are kind of super fun, a little bit different. Is that something you consider to kind of get everyone involved? Is a little bit different from the just kind of watch this?
Definitely, kids want to get involved. Kids want to do stuff. You need to keep them entertained. You need to do something. They're not at a party, having a drink and dancing like adults will be. They need something to stimulate them, and getting involved is great. Hands-on stuff. Circus workshops are brilliant. Loads of fun. Kids just love it. They can be there for ages throwing balls around. That's it. But exactly. They're learning to jug and they learn something. One of my favourites, I often get asked sort of something different. We've got a handful of football freestylers on our books.
Even I would love to watch that still. But how would they run? Say if we had an event here or something, and we booked out a football freestyler here, he would kind of do some tricks for us.
Yeah.
How would he run it differently if he was doing a kids event in comparison to for adults?
I mean, the reality is that the guys that we use and most out there will do what you want.
Yeah.
But obviously you need to know what you want as well, and what's going to work best.
Would it be more of an educational kind of spin on it?
They do a bit of everything, and at the end of the day, they're there for usually a couple of hours, sometimes longer. They'll usually do a bit of a show that's a short 10-minute look at these tricks kind of thing, and it's a show off. All the kids watch with amazement. They then can do a basic workshop where they're getting a few kids involved, teach them some basic freestyle stuff. It's not going to be anything that this kid's going to feel left out or unable to do it. It's really basic stuff to get everyone involved. A lot of the time, they end up having a kickabout. And it sounds like, well, anyone can do that. But, when you've got a guy that the kids are looking up to and impressed with, he comes out and he'll work with them, make sure everyone's involved. He'll obviously do some of his tricks and it's more of a show as well. Kids love it. And then usually the dads get involved as well. And mums, of course. Usually the dads get involved as well. And it's just a good, fun, for boys generally, and girls, of course. But, football fans love it. It's great.
Do you think that kind of educational spin, with a lot of the kids, are obviously going to be at school 5 days a week, so they're used to that environment of kind of being led and an authority figure in front of them. Do you think that having that educational spin, I know not actually teaching them as in a class, but having someone kind of lead a group is the way forward with children's entertainment?
It's a way to gather them. It's a way to sort of
because they're used together. To that. They won't kind of backlash with that.
But again, if you've got a sort of a an aspiring person to look up to, and usually, you know, a smart looking football player that kids look up to, that, you know, and they will instantly sort of follow and go along with it.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, so weddings then.
Okay.
It's often
kids can't get married, Joe.
Well, you never know. I've seen dogs get married. I swear someone married an elephant the other day.
There's some weird things that happen.
You just wait 10 years, you never know. So yeah, for weddings, kids' entertainment is often an overlooked aspect. It's often at the back of people's minds. It's not something they give consideration to. Is it something that we should be thinking about when we're booking entertainment for the wedding, and why? So
it's really important, really, really important. I think the key thing, at the end of the day, a bride and groom will really think about entertaining their guests. They want everyone there to be happy. The kids often don't get thought about in that sense. I know some people, when they're planning a wedding, say no kids. That happens quite a bit, which is fine. But then you're eliminating people that have got kids that maybe want to bring them along. So it's finding that balance and what you want to do. Obviously, you want your friends to have fun. You want your friends to be relaxed, and you want them to enjoy the party. If they've got kids, they need to entertain and look after those kids. So if you can have something to take that away, they don't have to worry about it.
Would you say that booking, say if you booked an act during the day or a band or something, it could almost be wasted if you didn't give your guests the opportunity to relax and enjoy that band in the first place because they're too busy looking after the kids and whatnot?
Sorry, I didn't see any of the band. I was looking after poor Oliver that was crying all night.
Exactly.
It happens. It's part of it. There are some kids that are great, and you see them on the dance floor dancing to a band late at night, but there are a lot that it's just not for them. It's too loud, and it's not. So having something that's happening somewhere can really, really help to take them away, and that can be, that can be anything. If we're talking, we're not just sort of advising people to book our acts. Get some games.
Yeah, I think one thing that happened at my brother's wedding recently, we had a lot of lawn games up, so we had kind of giant Jenga and stuff, and even I was getting involved, and a lot of the other guys, but all the kids were out there. It was a sunny day, and everyone was kind of looked after, and everyone was...
Kids are imaginative. They're going to play with whatever. I saw a wedding recently. They got sort of they weren't even hay bales, but they were like sawdust sort of stuff in a bag, like hay bales. 10 of them.
Off you go.
Kids just played with them. That's it. So that's the simple option, and the cheap option is just get something to play with.
As long as you kind of designate kind of an area and a space, and just say, there you go, that's for you for the next hour. Off you go, off you trot, and
that's it. But then of course, there are things that you can you can put an entertainer in that area as well.
Sure.
You can have storytellers. That's great.
Cool.
We've got storytellers.
Even I was in London recently, and what's the kids shop? What's the massive?
Is it Smith's?
Oh my god, it begins with H or something.
No, that's the famous one. Is it Harrods?
Harrods? Oh my gosh! Someone comment. I know it's yellow and red themed. But anyway, I was on the top floor. It's absolutely huge in there.
Okay.
And there was this guy, and he was a trainee guy doing storytelling, and he was going there pretending to read to teddies and stuff. So I felt bad for him.
Did he work in the shop?
I'm pretty sure he worked in the shop. But we sat down and had listen, and then other families came along and listened. It's kind of, I don't know, that sounds weird that I did that, but it's a really cool environment, and it's a bit of fun, and it's a little bit different, and it's really engrossing as well.
Exactly, and someone who does that as their sort of in a professional basis, even if it's semi-professional, it's part-time, whatever. They're going to know how to engage all the kids. They're going to know how to look after the kids, and if one of them's not looking happy, they'll put a smile on the face. They can do all that stuff. So things like that. Great idea. Face painters.
I love face painters.
Yeah, everyone
so
does.
Much.
Everyone does.
I can't resist. If I see it, I have to do it. It doesn't matter where I am, or if I have to be going out somewhere important that night. I'll get my face painted.
One of my favourite things to see at weddings, be it as a guest or be it performing there, or whatever it might be, is there's always a dad as a tiger.
It's a tiger, isn't it?
It's always a tiger. Full wedding outfit, and then a tiger face. Brilliant. But the kids love that, and and again, it's something that they can go and do, and the parents don't need to be with them, because the face painter knows how to look after the kids, and do it that way.
I think the thing to touch on here as well is the atmosphere that an entertainment like that can create. at the event, because it instantly enlightens it, doesn't it?
Of course,
Especially if you're having a kind of summer thing and it's outside. Imagine having someone set up outside painting faces. It feels like a kind of summer fete. And
it's a festival fete sort of thing. Yeah, that's it, exactly. And everyone gets involved, even though it is for the kids. Everyone gets involved.
Balloon modelers are really cool. I mean, we have kind of a few different types of balloon modelers. So what are the options there? I
mean, you've got I don't want to say standard, that's wrong, but the sort of what we expect as a balloon modeler, it's one person who, hey, do you want a balloon model? And they'll make an animal,
sure.
and they'll do something, and they're really impressive, really fun. Great for kids, great for everyone. There'll be swords, they'll be playing with swords, there'll be different animals and stuff like that. We've got an act as well, Bell's Boutique they go by, and they're probably a bridge between kids and adults sort of thing.
Sure.
So they offer they'll make hats,
right? Cool,
but elaborate hats, and they're hats made out of balloons, and it can be, they've got like Star Wars stuff. So they've got like a Darth Vader
really kind of
balloon idea, and stuff like that. Or they'll do like one I really like is like the fruit bowl, the old school fruit sort of thing. Yeah, and they do stuff like that, and they do it almost like come and sit down in this boutique, and they they do it for you. And there's a mirror in front, and then they take a photo and go away. And again, this is another one that's it's booked for kids entertainment.
The adults can't help.
All the adults will have a silly hat on by the end of the night, and it's great fun. We had they went out recently for us, and the customer called up and had to make a point of how impressed he was with it. He just wasn't expecting it, and said 98% of the whole party all had a balloon hat.
I want to see the photos. From
yes, we'll get some photos.
At the end of the night,
will.
Everyone's wearing balloon hats. But it can just really lift the day, and if you can bring that kind of childish innocence and fun to your wedding day as well, it can take it from that kind of stuffy,
fun is the key word, and I think that's what you want at a wedding. You want everyone to have fun, and that can be sort of various aspects. Yes, the band is so that people have fun and they dance, but there's other things as well. We've discussed in other videos like caricaturists and magicians, and people are just having fun. And that is it, and it doesn't need to be. Trying to choose the right word, but it doesn't need to be sort of posh, lavish,
traditional.
Fun. Traditional. It can be silly.
Exactly.
That's the point. And I think people enjoy it, and it's different.
I think looking back to when I was younger, I remember going to a big group of weddings in between the ages of kind of 7 and 10, and I was aware that I was at a wedding, and I kind of knew what was going on, but at the same time I didn't care. And
you were really bored and tired.
I was very bored, and I was put in a suit, and I was told to sit here and not say anything for an hour or so. I was like, I just want to, all my friends and family here, I just want to have fun and that. So I think enabling that and giving the children an opportunity to have that outlet, so they don't kind of maybe do that in the wrong way or run wild.
I was about to say, kids that are bored either cry or cause trouble. I think,
and adults do the same sometimes. I speak for myself.
But I think we've all been to a wedding where there isn't something for the kids, and they're running under tables, and they're running around on the dance floor, or pulling and minding people. It's cute for a minute, and then it gets a bit annoying. So entertain them. Do something.
Cool. Well, on that, Matt, I think we can leave it there. So entertain the kids, think of the children. And thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions about any children's entertainment that we've covered, please give us a shout or use the hashtag AskWarble. You eating some love hearts?
Well, they've been sat there, and I can't resist them any longer.
Can I have one? What does it say?
Well, that sweet you.
Am I that sweet?
There you go, buddy.
Use the hashtag AskWarble or get in touch. I will not. Use the hashtag AskWarble for any other further questions, and we'll feature it in a video. And thanks for watching.
Thank you. The next one says great guy. That would have been better. Can we do a retake at the end?